My name is Diani Blanco. I'm 26 years old and I'm from Dominican Republic. I came when I was 10 years old in Canada, from Dominican Republic, coming from a house of what I say like violence. So I went to foster care when I was 15 years old, after a few incidents that happened at my home. I was really bullied my whole life, pretty much. Coming from Dominican Republic, being Black, and living in Shediac, it's a little place and everybody's white. I got really bullied when I was in middle school. Um, but yeah, I live in Moncton right now, but when I went to foster care, it was in Acadiville, so it's like a little village how do you say that? Like it's like St. Louis de Kent is like Kent County here in New Brunswick. Um, so yeah, I did my high school there. Um, then it's only been like probably a few months that I'm back in Moncton right now. So it wasn't easy. Again, like I said, being a Black girl in Shediac, New Brunswick. So yeah, I was bullied a lot. I didn't even know like who to talk to. I felt alone my whole childhood. Then when I went to foster care in Acadiville, it wasn't even easier because again I was facing violence at home, so verbal violence, physical violence, and I continued that cycle, if you want, back into my own relationship. So I went to with somebody who was verbally abusive to me. He was controlling and escalated when I was 17 years old. When I was in an apartment living on my own, he started abusing me physically. So that wasn't easy. So it was a lot. I had a lot of challenges, but I always see the positive out of it. So because of all that, I grew up to be the person that I am today. And working on myself made me realize that maybe I should be the person that I needed when I was going through that abuse when I was a teenager, not knowing who to talk to, being lost, and even be suicidal, but I didn't know who to talk to. I felt like nobody was listening or even cared for me. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on becoming the person that I needed when I was going through the situations. Of course, working on yourself means that you need to be honest, that you need to say like, this happened to me for a reason, and really take those painful moments as something beautiful that you can help somebody else. So for me, it was like, okay, how can I reach out to kids? What do I need it at that time? So I needed somebody to be honest with me and to share their story, and not only statistics and numbers and stuff like that, but to really share and to be vulnerable with me at that time. So that's how I reach out to the kids, is that I'm being me, so they can see me as the person that I am. And I'm honest. I tell them what happened to me, how I cope with that, how hard it was, but I don't hide anything. I'm transparent with them. So I think that's what they need. So every time that I do my presentations in high schools here in New Brunswick, I have like a little questionnaire, just little feedbacks here and there. And the one thing that they say is it's fun to have somebody be honest with us. We just want people to open up and tell us the truth, how it is. And I think that's the way that I can reach out to them, is to touch their heart and to let them know, like, I'm here, I see them, I know how it feels. So for me, it was important to really reach out to them and to really know, like, what do they need. And like a lot of time, like they say, like, we need that in high schools, like we don't have stuff like that. Or if we have people coming to talk, it's not about personal stories, it's about more numbers than anything else. And that's not what they want, that's not what they need. So yeah, so for me, that's what I do. And I just go and talk about my personal story. I'm actually working on writing a book right now and trying to find different resources. So right now I'm actually working on getting certified as a personal counselor, so I can just give more tools and resources to the young kids. started 3 years ago. It's volunteer. So I remember like I was just working overtime so I could pay my gas to go to the high schools, pay my lunch. So yeah, I just traveled around New Brunswick and I do it voluntarily. Why? Because for me, it's not about money, but I feel like if I can help one young girl or boy get out of an abusive relationship, then I did my job as a human being. Leave them at the end with, doesn't matter what happened to you and how painful it is, take that as a lesson and help somebody else with it. So take something that happened to you that was horrible and turn it around and make something beautiful with it. So for me, there's no excuse in a way. Everything happened to us for a reason. So maybe at that moment in time, you need to work on yourself. It's okay. Take the time that you need, but realize that if you've been through that, somebody else is going through that right now. And again, as a human being, you don't want to see anybody suffering. So for me was telling the kids like, stand up for yourself. Even if you see something, say something, be there for somebody else, stand up for yourself and stand up for anybody else who don't have a voice at this moment in time until they get their own voice and they can help somebody else as well. Both. I want to have my own practice, but at the same time, I don't want to stop going in high schools and being like one-on-one or touching and just spreading awareness about the situation of dating, abusing young relationships. Um, but for me, I want to do it as a career, of course. I have the passion, and that's my vision, that's my mission to help. But I want something that I don't need to focus on somebody else, on something else like working overtime. I remember last year I was working night shifts at a senior's home from 7 at night to 7 in the morning. Going home, I have two little kids, bringing them to daycare, having an hour sleep, and then driving a few hours away to do a presentation. Of course, that's my passion. That's my love. I love it. And every time that I just leave, there's like this excitement. And I know that's me, an hour and a half talking to young kids. I feel alive, the most alive that I ever felt in my life. And I love that feeling. So for me, I want to do that as a full-time job, as a career. I want to really be there for them and continue my passion. My new Facebook page, it's in Fino Group, but usually they can email me, even just like kind of hard right now because I'm just starting, so I want to be more out there. But they usually email me personally, and we just book a time for me to go. I would have one wish for the world, it would be no more pain. Um, I get a little bit emotional because I know what pain feels like, and I don't want anybody to feel like that. So for me, I could have one wish, is like nobody would have any pain. So when I was living in Shediac, um, there's a lot of people that was aware of this situation, like especially adults, but they didn't want to get involved. Um, Not more than that. They probably felt like it's not their place to go and ask questions and be in the middle. Um, Even for my social workers, that was something that for me, I felt like a social worker was supposed to be there to protect you and to help you. And they will bring me back into that bad situation, and I will be like crying and asking them, please don't bring me back in that home, don't bring me back there, I don't want to be there. And as an adult, I felt like they were supposed to be there to protect me and be, okay, I see you, I know what's going on, especially the moments that I will open up a little bit. They should have been aware and wake up, if you want, and be like, okay, I need to help Diani in different ways, how can we help her? But it was the opposite. So for me, it's like, if you see a child being hurt, say something, because at that time I needed somebody to step up for me and to have a voice that I didn't have at that time. And I ran away a few times from home, so people were aware there was something going on. I was suicidal. I tried at least 6 times before the age of 16 to kill myself. And most of the time they will see it as, she's just acting out because she's a teenager. No, there's always something behind that. Take the time to listen and to be there. Um, let them walk to you in a way, right? Um, let that young child, if you want, that teenager, do the first step and go to you. And when they do that, be there 100% and listen. Don't just hear them talk, listen 100% what they're saying to you. When I was around 15 years old, I had a social worker, Sophia Bao. She was my last social worker, actually. So I had like 4 of them before, or 3 of them. And she was always there, but I didn't feel like I don't know why inside of me I felt like she didn't care about me, but she did. And only when I was like 19 years old that I've realized that she was actually there for me. And I thank her for being there and to never giving up on me. She was a person that will listen. And I had a hard time opening up, of course, because having adults not being there for me, my mom's husband being abusive, my mom being abusive, going to a relationship and continuing that cycle. But having her there, but never leaving my side and just saying that she's there for me, just hearing her say, I'm there for you, I care for you, even if in some way I was like, why would you care for me if my mother never cared for me, right? Why would you say, I love you? You don't love me, you don't even know me. That's what I was thinking, right? Because for so long I had so many people just put me aside and not caring about me, that when she came into my life I was like, no, she doesn't care, she just says that just to make me talk to her or make me feel good right now. But there's always one person in your life that person is 100% there. And maybe even if they don't see it, or they probably think that you're not listening. Of course, as a teenager I was like acting like I didn't care, but in some way, somehow deep down inside I knew that she really loved me as a person, and she was there for me. It was just hard for me to open up since I was hurt so many times before. Not anymore, and I wish I could have some type of relationship with Sophie, but she impacted my life in a beautiful way that I don't even think that she knows that yet. But seeing her go and seeing her passion about being a social worker, she was, I wish there would be more Sophia about in this world, that's for sure. She's something special. She has the most beautiful heart that I ever know. As a mother of 2 boys, it's not easy to, and I'm a single mother. So for me, it's trying to show them who I am. So I know they look at me. Um, it's like my youngest, Nico, said, are you Superwoman before Halloween? And I'm like, I'm already Superwoman every day, babe. And then he said, yeah, mom is Superwoman, you know? And for me, that moment in time, I've realized like, yeah, for them, I am Superwoman, and I need to teach them, and they need to see what, not necessarily what good is, but I need to teach them great values. I need to show them that we don't judge people by what you see. Um, Last year, I'm gonna say this little story. So last year, my oldest was in kindergarten. So he came home and he was like, why do they do like that rainbow, that flag, that rainbow? Because the teacher at school, I guess, did not tell them what it was about. So I'm really open with my kids. So I told him, well, like you have a mama and dada. There's some people have 2 mama with 2 dadas. And then he was thinking, like, Elijah, he's the little thinker. He's like space, and you see like he's thinking. And he said, well, that's okay. And I said, yes, that's okay to be different, right? And he said, yeah, I'm different. And I was like puzzled. I was like, what do you mean you're different? He said, in my class, everybody is white and I'm brown, and that's okay to be different. So I realized that I'm teaching my kids to be kind, and I'm giving them great values without even realizing it, right? Because I don't like judging people. I like opening up and helping others. And every time I see them do something like that, I've realized that they're teaching me more than I'm teaching them sometimes. It's crazy because sometimes you don't realize what you have. So for me as a single mom, I'm always going and running and working and busy. And then sometimes I stop and I look at them and I'm like, wow, I'm so blessed. The other day, Nico had my neighbors over, so two little girls. And I was looking Nico go, and he's 3 years old. He's so tiny. And then he goes and takes the little girl's hand and said, come, hold my hands. We're going down the steps. Hold my hands. Be careful. And so caring for this little child. And for me was like, wow, he sees her as fragile, that he needs to take care of her and he needs to be humble and sweet. And I don't know, like for me at that moment, I just looked at him go, and I realized that I'm actually doing a good job, even if sometimes I'm running everywhere and everything goes so fast. But I think they see who you really are, and you're reflecting on them a lot. So sometimes you don't think about it as an adult that they see you more than what you think they do. I remember Elijah, when Nico get upset, like he will say, okay, take a deep breath, Nico. And he will do the movement with him, because I was doing that with Elijah when he would get so mad, or he would get so excited that he didn't even, like, I don't even think he understood what was going on with his emotions. So I will tell him, it's okay, relax, take a deep breath. So now when Nico gets upset, Elijah does the same thing to him. So that's kind of cute, because I'm like, I don't even know, like, I didn't even realize that he was really following my step, if you want.